Live now. All right, about to do this. All right. Hey guys, it's Mugen Lori here, and welcome to Mugen TV Podcast. This is our first podcast that we're trying out. We're trying to work out the kinks and everything. And our goal is to try to have two different versions. You can be able to watch it on the live stream, and you can also be able to rewatch it once it's up on the archive. And then we'll try to have an audio version somewhere on SoundCloud, probably Spotify, so you guys can be able to download it. So I definitely want to hear some feedback from you guys, so we know that everything is working, and we want to try to make this a normal thing to have these podcasts. So as you see, I have my brother Keel Lancer and DX Strike here. So we're going to just dive right into this podcast right now. So first, introduce yourself, starting with Keo, and then we can go to DX Strike. So give a quick synopsis of you in the summary. Go ahead, Keo.
Hey guys, this is Keel Ransom here, and I am the person that came up with Keel Ransom Gaming, and I have been on Movie channel a few times.
Press the key.
Oh yeah, we got this whole little press key thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I'm
You gotta hold it. Press it.
yeah, hold it.
You gotta hold it.
Yeah, I hold it now.
I don't. No, I don't hear you.
You hear me now?
No, I don't hear you at all.
You hear me now?
No, I don't hear. I don't hear you at all. Wait, hold up.
Is it on? Yeah, it's on.
All right, DX, check. We still doing testing. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
hear DX
yeah.
fine. Check and make sure your key setting, Kev, wasn't removed.
Go up to this. Go up here and put that. It is already on. Already on. You put space on. Yep, space.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why don't you hear key all of a sudden?
Try the enter button.
You selected the key.
Yep.
All right, try it again, DX.
Yeah, mine's is working.
Perfectly. Why aren't yours working all of a sudden? Try it again, Keo.
Uh, Experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be we'll be back on track in just a few minutes. So stick with us, and we get this thing on the road.
Do you hear him? Let me see. Go ahead, talk again. No, I don't hear you at all.
It should make
It's supposed to make a beep sound. Oh, you turned.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you turned the mic off, didn't you?
no. I don't even know
What happened?
But
But
it's working now.
No, you off again.
I'm off now.
Yeah. You press the key. You holding it. You holding it.
yeah, I know it was the
What was it?
it was the joint. I don't know what happened, man. When I took the webcam out, the joint was on the blinker, and you heard me before, right?
Yeah, heard you before. Yeah,
I don't know.
So it's working now.
it's working now.
now.
All right, so we're gonna do this over again. Oh my god. So yes, welcome to Mugen TV Podcast. And sorry, this is going to be kind of rough. This is our first podcast. We testing out everything. I'm trying to normalize this and everything, so you guys can just sit back and relax. This is going to be pretty much a live stream, and not only that, we're going to have an audio version on SoundCloud and also probably Spotify, so you guys can download it and you'll be able to listen to it and stuff. But we'll edit the audio version since we had a little hiccup. So you gotta bear with us, because putting this together has been a headache, trying to get the sound quality going, because we both in the same, all three of us in the same room and everything. But we're going to dive right into it. As you can see right here, I have my brothers Keel Lancer and we have DX Strike right here with us. So I'm gonna have them guys give themselves a brief introduction, and then we're gonna move on to the topics that we're gonna discuss here in this podcast. And everybody that's in the chat, I'm reading your chat and everything, but like I said, just be patient. We'll answer some things in the chat and respond to some things as we go along. But for now, just sit back and enjoy the show. So let us begin. Let's continue. So Keel Lancer, you start off with yourself with a brief introduction. Let everybody know who you are.
Well, first off, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Exactly. Go ahead.
Well, guys, this is Keel Lancer from Keel Lancer Gaming. I made a YouTube channel not too long ago, and I do unboxings. I do game reviews and a bunch of other things. Come check me out. Come subscribe and hit that bell button to get notifications to my channel. All right, take it away, DX.
Okay, hey, I'm DX Strike. I also have a YouTube channel, is DX Strike Control. I'm pretty brand new at it, so I'm pretty much taking my time, a little bit busy, so I don't have much videos up. But once I get everything up and running, you can hit me up.
All right, so cool. We have my brothers briefly introduce themselves, and we want to dive right into it. Before we even go into the main topic, which we were talking about, as you if you've seen the thumbnail, we're gonna be covering Tokyo Game Show, because if you guys don't know, Tokyo Game Show is going on this week, and if you don't know what Tokyo Game Show is, it's pretty much the Japanese equivalent to America's E3, but it's done in Tokyo, and they pretty much show off and reveal some games to the Eastern audience. And if there are some games that has, I guess you say, a widespread appeal and everything, they will also have like an English trailer here and sprinkled here and there. So before we even dive into some of the stuff that was announced at Tokyo Game Show, I want to go over to some of the game releases that's been released here in September, and the other games is coming out in September as well. Starting with Daemon X Machina, which released Friday, September the 13th. Let's just take it away, starting with Keel Lancer, because they did release it. There were some reviews out there and everything, and we just want to just briefly go over some of these releases, and we won't go into like big like discussions about it and stuff. We're gonna have those for those individual games in separate discussion videos and stuff. But Keel Lancer, tell me a little bit about your experience with the demo with Daemon X Machina, and whether or not if you're going to go out and purchase the game.
Well, I'll take it from there, moving Lord. I've personally had a good time with the
Mm-hmm.
demo. It reminds me of Armor Core,
Right.
and Armor Core was one of my favorite games that I played for the PlayStation. And the thing is, it did some homages to that particular series, that mech series and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
The cooperative play is amazing. From what I've seen, like Friday when it dropped and whatnot, cooperative play is cool. It has a lot of things from the demo that I see, of course, that's in the regular gameplay. The cosmetics is cool in the game. The mechs in the game is just phenomenal. The color changes, the weaponry, all different types of stuff in this game. The only drawback to it, the story is really not that important. The story is only 15 hours, but the game has 100 hours of gameplay, like probably more some side missions and multiplayer type missions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the mechs in the game that you fight, you can break parts off robots, put it a part of your arsenal, take weapons from other robots out in the field, and it becomes a part of your arsenal, which I thought that was really cool in the demo, and I'm glad it's in the game itself.
Right.
Armor Core, you couldn't do that at all. You could not do that in Armor Core. So I think that was a nice addition that they added to the game. The game suffers from what I've seen in a lot of reviews and from
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen in the game. The game is fairly easy. The AI really isn't that great on the game, but if you're a mecha fan, you'll like the game. Am I going to pick the game up right away? I refuse to spend $60 on a game that's like that, like
Okay.
straight out the box.
Uh
But
huh.
I will be getting that game probably later on down the line this year. I have to pick up the game because I would like to review the game
Right.
for myself.
Oh.
But take it away, DX.
Yeah,
I've also.
yeah. I've also pretty much had some experience with the demo
Right.
myself. I liked it because I pretty much had experience with Armor Core back in the day on PlayStation One, all the way up to like 360, whatever. Armor Core 3 is my favorite one, but yeah, it pretty much it gives respect to that old style of game, that old genre of gaming, and I thought that was pretty cool. The customization is really good. I just wish they put more better customization into your character too. I know you don't see them that much, but I'm a fiend for
Yeah.
editing my own character and stuff like that. Because I'm an artist too, so
Right.
that's why I fiend off of that. But the problem with me was I didn't really like the frame rate was really bad
Same
to
here.
me. The graphics wasn't really that engaging and stuff like that, and that's not really a big deal for most people. The gameplay is still good, so I'm not going to knock it for the gameplay. It has its flaws, but yeah, that's pretty much my take on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same for me, because when I first when they first announce the game and everything, I was super hyped for it, super excited, because it's something different. We haven't seen any mecha games in a long time, especially something like that. in essence of that. So I'm just like, okay, pretty cool. But as you were saying as well, as far as the frame rate is concerned, that was pretty much the issue for me. But as far as like what everyone's been saying from the reviews and everything, there's like a mixed bag, but it's more so positive than it is negative. But that's pretty much for Demon X Machina, and we have another release coming September 27th, which is Cold Vein. Now, as far as Cold Vein is concerned, I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. There's a demo that they have on PS4, so I'm hoping to try to demo out this weekend and maybe do give you my impressions of how I feel about the game and everything when I upload the video this week. I am not, I am really looking forward to it because I don't really play like games like the Demon Souls and games like that. So this kind of like caught my attention because I like the art style and it has like an anime look to it. So that's the way to pull me in to at least give a Souls game type of game a try and everything. And there's been a lot of controversy surrounding it because they kept pushing the game back. It's been what 2 years now since they kept pushing it back, but the game is finally coming out. So I definitely want to hear your opinions on the DX Strike about the demo because you did play the demo. What do you feel about the game so far?
I loved it. I haven't really been experienced in the whole Demon Souls, I guess, gameplay style and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I did get my hands on Neo, which I loved, which is pretty much like Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, that the jumping from that to Code Vein is really is a really dope experience. I definitely, like the character creation. It was a lot of options that you could take, with the character creation. So I spent like a whole lot of time on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Keo had jumped on after that, I seen that I missed a couple things as far as attributes in the character creation. I'm like, dang, so it's really deep when it comes to that. So I'm like, me, like I said, I'm an artist, so I love
Yeah.
character creation, and that I thought that was pretty cool. The frames is awesome. The graphics is freaking beautiful. I loved it, and then the difficulty is there because it wouldn't be a soul style game if the difficulty
Yeah.
wasn't there, and having pretty much an anime skin over it is like a plus for me, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't really get into the old dusty European uh
Yeah. Yeah.
demonic look.
Victoria.
Yeah,
Victorian. Yeah.
Victorian type look. I couldn't really get into those, even though I recognize those as good games, and it pretty much brought the whole feeling of really bad, I mean really good difficulty back and stuff like that. So yeah, the combat is awesome. The variety of weapons are pretty awesome. So far I think the gun is like one of the broken ones. It reminds me of on Dark Souls. They said pretty much magic was the most broken option in that, what I'm saying, in that
Right.
game, because you didn't really have to get close and it was super powerful. But
Yeah.
yeah, from my experience on the game, it's really dope.
Well, as for me, I tried the demo as DX said. I enjoyed the game as well. Um, Pretty much like customization took me maybe like 25, maybe 30 minutes, just to work on my character. The cool thing about demo is your character transfers into the, when a game is released and stuff like that. And probably you'll probably get some other perks with it and everything. I took it a step farther to start looking for the cooperative play. It's only a two-player. Online play, I'm guessing that y'all traverse through dungeons. I'm not sure if you do the story together, because if you did, it probably would be broken. But then again, the boss fights, they add an extra boss into your boss fights and whatnot, which I find that really cool, because if it was both of y'all jumping on one boss,
Mm-hmm.
you'll swipe right through the doggone bosses. Um, the first boss that I fought was pretty challenging. I don't want to give too much away of the demo. For you guys who haven't played the demo, I advise you to play it. It's a really good game. I'm excited for it. I was hoping that God Eater would look just like that. I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting God Eater that God Eater would look like that. The game is visually beautiful. The frame rate, everything is beautiful about that game, and the storyline seems very engaging compared to the Soul series, and like was it Bloodborne, which I played that too. Um, can't really follow the story. It was just all
Yeah.
over the place. And this game right here, Cold Vein, seems like it has a solid story that you can follow. All right, Mugen, take it away.
Yeah. The thing is, I never had a personal connection with the Souls game, so hopefully that Code Vein will be that game to actually get me into the Soul series and everything. But not just that. Is there going to be a Nintendo Switch release for this?
Heck no.
Probably later on, eventually. I can because there's no way in the world they're going to skip the Switch for especially for a game like this. I think we'll eventually get, but they want to work on the Sony one since they've been pushing it back for so long and stuff. But we're gonna move on to the next release that we have here. This next release came out. It came out September 10th, but I feel as though that it's the perfect time to cover it. It's called Greedfall. Now the thing is, I really don't really have any like knowledge, of the backstory or the history behind this game. But I did see a few trailers of it, and it did look quite interesting. It had this Witcher look to it and Assassin's Creed look to it. But I know the both of you guys pretty much been following this game, been looking forward to it. So I'm gonna hand it off to Keel Lantern. Then after Keel Lantern, DX Strike, tell me, what do you think about Greedfall at the Keel Lantern? So go ahead, Keel Lantern, take it away.
Well, I first heard from this game, like, was it earlier in the summer? DX brought it to my attention, and then I took it from there. I just started doing my research on this game. I was like, wow, the story looks good, the factions look good on this game. The characters look, you know, like kind of like a Victorian type of look, which I'm okay. I'm okay with. I mean, like, that doesn't really concern me too much and whatnot. Um, by me doing my research on the game, it has like a system kind of like almost like Mass Effect, which I love Mass Effect system, the choice system, and how do you build your character up to make your character feel more like you, like if you were in that situation. And I like that. I like that the characters that you get by your side, they're from different parts of the factions and the New Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
The like you might have one character that don't get along with another character, and if you cater more to this character right here, and you're not paying any attention to this character right here and his ideology and his ideals, that pretty much suits his faction, he might betray you and try to kill you or kill one of your teammates. The game is not really heavily based on quests. It's like very, very like lore based, like reading things and
Yeah.
doing like going through the story and stuff like that. There are some quests there. There's a lot of like running back and forth, but I really don't care too much about that. You know, I just want to travel along in the world and partake in the story. I'm a story buff. I love RPGs that have great stories that I can explore, and I'm gonna let DX Strike take it away from here.
Yeah, I pretty much have been on track with this game for a
Mm-hmm.
minute now. I can't remember if it was like a year or two
Wow.
ago, but you know how you just go on YouTube and then you see like a whole lineup of games, and then most likely most of them are like PC games or games that's not coming out new anytime
Yeah.
soon. And I had seen a teaser for it, and it looked interesting when I seen it, and I have never heard from it after that. And then it wound up popping up like a couple months ago, and I'm like, wow. So I brought Keo onto it, and like it looked like really interesting, and it gave me that feel of Dragon Age with a Mass Effect mixed with like a Witcher to it. So I
Right.
was like, wow, this seemed like a game I could get into. But at the same time, I have found later on I want to find it out. Keo told me that the game was also is being developed by the guys who made Technomancer, which was a game that flopped horribly.
Yes.
The game got a freaking 4, and that's when I took a step back. I was like, whoa, I want to see how this game is first, because at first I was just going to dive right in and just buy it. But then once I heard that, like, whoa, let me back up. But then after that, I wound up hearing good things about it. I heard it's a little clunky, but it's not enough to just say, hey, I'm not going to get the game. The game's horrible.
Yeah.
So I think eventually I will get it. What I mean, when if I got like money laying around, or in no more important games coming out that I want to get over that, then yeah.
Yeah, so far from the reviews, from the gaming community, it's been mediocre to actually pretty good, and people see potential in it. So I'm glad that these developers of that Psychomancer or Technomancer, at least was able to redeem themselves after that crap. I don't know what that was, but we're gonna move on to the next one, which is pretty much Link's Awakening, which come out September 20th. Now this one caught me surprised because like I don't know, man. Like I thought it was coming out October, but it actually came out. It's actually coming out this month, and it's so many games that's coming out in this month. It's so crammed. September is crammed, and me, it was up to like when it comes to me, I would sit there and buy every game, and then it ended up sitting on my shelf and I never get to it. And I got a whole library of games of backlogs and stuff. So now I'm sitting here. We've got Code Vein and we have a few other games that's coming out this month. Now I found out Link's Awakening is out this month, and then we have the Sega Genesis Mini and everything as well. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go with Link's Awakening. And so far, from what I've seen with the game, it looks pretty good. It's something that I'm dying to try because I played the original on the Game Boy Color. I played Link's Awakening DX, the Game Boy Color version of it, and that was pretty much my first time ever playing the game. And I must say that the handheld versions of Zelda seem much more harder than the console versions for some reason, and and everything. And I love the art style and what they have going on. But there's some YouTubers like Happy Console Gamer. He's able to get his hands on like a review copy of it, and he's giving his first impressions, and he's really enjoying the game so far. And from some of the scenes that he showed off, that's pretty cool, man. So, DX Strike, what do you think about Link's Awakening for Nintendo Switch?
Well, I think it looks pretty awesome. I like the vibrance of the colors. I'm not too happy of how Link
Mm-hmm.
looks, but it's not enough to where I just shun the game off. It looks really fun. At first, when I first seen the trailer, I'm like, oh, this looks good. This is a nice game for Nintendo fans. I love Legend of Zelda too, but classic. I wasn't really into like the classic ones like that. I more so liked the open world 3D ones like was it Ocarina of Time and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, but when I seen this, I'm like, wow, this looks like a breath of fresh air. We haven't seen a old fashioned Legend of Zelda game like this in a while. So I was like, you know what, this looks much more fun, and they added more mechanics to it. It's not just like, hey, the same game with a new coat of paint over it. It's actually newer stuff into it, so it feels like a actually remade game. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick this up. It seemed like a good game for the Switch, especially for on the go, and yeah.
Well, for me, it looks like a claymation version of those Christmas cartoons we used
Oh
to
yeah,
watch,
yeah.
and it just brought those old Christmas memories back, of those particular type of animations. To me, the game looks enjoyable. I played the original for the brick Game Boy. Game was freaking hard, as Mugen Lord would say. I played it. I couldn't beat it. It was very, very, very hard. Also, this was like one of our friends, Forrest Gardner's favorite game, so he's
Mm-hmm.
definitely excited to get it. I'm excited for the amiibo. I would like to collect the amiibo. The amiibo looks really cool. Will I get this game? Most likely, I probably won't, because I have so many other games that I need to get and that I want to get before I embark on taking on another Zelda game.
Right.
But of course, when DX and Mugen Lord get the game, most likely I'm going to sit down and watch them play the game.
Sweet, sweet. So next up, another release that came out recently was Gears of War 5. Came out September 10th. Now, as far as Gears of War is concerned, the only Gears of War I have played was Gears of War 1 and 2. And sadly, when it comes to this generation, normally every generation I buy all three competitors, but this generation I kind of pretty much skipped out on the Xbox One. There wasn't really any exclusives that really caught my attention, and if since most of these games are like multiplayer as well, I already have a PS4, so I just stuck with my PS4 and my Nintendo Switch. So I really had no incentive to go buy an Xbox One. So now we do have Gears of War 5, and from what I've seen from the community and what people are saying in my social circle, that they're really enjoying the hell out of Gears of War 5. And it's actually people saying that the Xbox fans finally have an exclusive they can pretty much brag about and be proud of. That they finally have something that's enjoyable. And they said that this Gears of War 5 really brought things back to roots, brought it back to the ground, back to its foundation. So that's definitely good to hear. So I'm hopefully, which I have faith in, that the next Xbox is going to probably blow all of our minds away and everything. But we'll get into another video about that. So if we do get, most definitely we'll get Gears of War 6. I may jump back onto that once we do move on to that. But then again, I forgot, Gears of War 5 is on the PC as well, I think, right? So I may get back into Gears of War through the PC. So I may even do that as well to catch up on things and everything. But yes, Keel Lancer, like, what is what is your thoughts on Gears of War 5 and just your overall relationship with the Gears of War series altogether?
Well, Gears of War was a game that we played during game night, over my uncle Gene's house, and then we brought Gears to our
Mm-hmm.
house. and we did a lot of gaming with a bunch of our friends, like my cousin Zion, my uncle Gene, and was it my friend Nathaniel, and a bunch of us, a bunch of us. And the thing is, like, I played through the Gears series of 1 and 2. I didn't touch 3, but I've watched the storyline of 3 and the expansion that came after 3. And then my dad wound up buying Gears of War 4 for his Xbox One, and I see him play through that. Far as though with the Gear 5 storyline, I guess I didn't really appreciate the shift of getting away from Marcus's son, because the game seemed like it was about him on the fourth one. Then you turn around and this is the other character that's the main character, and I'm like, wow, really? Wow, we didn't really get a chance to get to know him story wise. But far as from the gameplay mechanics, I'm very, very impressed. I'm very impressed that it went back to his roots. On a side note, I'm not sure if you guys played the mobile version of the Gears of War game that belongs in the story as well. Don't forget to check that out as well, guys. And if you're a Batista fan, Batista's in the game too.
Mm.
And I think
Yeah,
Sarah
Sarah
Connor
Connors.
from
Yeah.
the Terminator is going to be in that joint too for you guys to check out. Take it away, Diak.
Oh yeah, you also forgot you get to fight the T1s
Oh.
too. I
Oh.
think you get the if I'm not matter of fact no you it's a skin I
Oh.
think you
Okay.
could be the T1s. Now the thing what I wanted was maybe they should have a horde mode where you can
I
fight the
think yeah, that'd be
T1s,
pretty dope.
the skeletons. Like I
That'd be
think that'd
pretty
be
dope.
dope. But I'm the the Gears head in this
Yep.
group. I played everyone all the way up to Judgment Day. I don't, unfortunately, I don't have an Xbox One because Xbox One wasn't really appealing in this generation, so I never got the chance to play 4. But I did watch videos and gameplay to get my head wrapped around the story, and I don't know, something told me Gears 5 was going to be really good because I heard pretty much a lot of people wasn't really feeling 4 like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why. I can see why, and then watching my father play it too, like I can see why. But uh, pretty much the main character is I forgot her name, but the girl from 4, she pretty much has a big part in this, kind of like pushing Marcus Phoenix's son to the side. But it's I guess is a good reason for that. Pretty much her being tied to the bigger plot within the story, and it's really good to have Gears of War back in the light it was in before, because besides Halo, Gears was that next thing, that next big console seller. Halo's been dying out, so or is dead now. So Gears was holding that mantle before it
Yeah.
started. 4 came out and it messed up a little bit, but it's good to bring it back and it's back to its roots and it's holding that torch like it was before.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gears of War 5 is looking to be pretty good, and I'm glad that the community, the Xbox fans, got an exclusive that they can be really really proud of and everything. But we're gonna move on to another anticipated release, which is Borderlands 3, which released September 13th. Now, as far as my relationship goes with Borderlands, the only Borderlands I played was the first Borderlands. I don't know, like it's a looter shooter, and they're meant to be, you grind loot and stuff like that, and it has this repetition to it and everything, but it can be addictive. But in my sense, I'm not really into shooters anyway, and but it did have that RPG, those RPG elements, that was the only thing that enticed me to at least give it a try. But after a while, I kind of got bored of it. But my brother Keel Lancer, my brother DX Strike, and of course my father and the rest of the other crew, that's part of the game night crew, they continue to play Borderlands and enjoy the hell out of it till this day. And now Borderlands 3 is out, and I've been hearing like mixed results, but more so positive as well. But definitely, DX Strike, are you looking forward to this game? Are you going to go pick it up?
Hell yeah, I love Borderlands. I played every last one. I dabbled in the Tales from the Borderlands from the Telltale games. I never got the chance to finish it, but yeah, I was really excited when I heard that Borderlands 3 was coming out. It's been what, 7 years since
I
Borderlands came out.
believe so.
Yeah, I think it was about 7 years, and I mean, man, I always loved it. Like I said, there's games to me that have what I call good repetition and bad repetition, and Borderlands has those things that's like it's repetitive as hell, but it's I don't know, it's something about it that keeps you like wanting to to keep going and keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really fun. I like the characters, I like the humor in it, and this one when I was looking at gameplay and reviews and stuff like that, the game of the guns looks so crazy, and it looks like yeah, after a while you'll hit that wall of all right, I ran into a whole lot of the same guns and stuff like that. But it seemed like it's going to take a long time before that happens compared to the other ones.
Right.
Because this one, like, it has even more of a variety in this one, and I love the visuals look a whole lot better. They added a few mechanics, like the run and slide, sort of like what you have on like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They added like a climbing mechanic too. You can climb up stuff instead of just trying to jump and then hopefully land on stuff to get to secret spots like the other ones.
Right.
Um, Pretty much the way everybody, like, a lot of people is not really like what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, People expected it to be Borderlands. Like, you have certain people who like, yo, man, I wish there was more to it or it was something different. Like, no, like the Borderlands fans is like, yo, it plays like Borderlands. That's all that I'm worried about. I wasn't really expecting it to be any different, even after all these years we've been waiting. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, so. Like you got some people who's like, it's still Borderlands. But if you're like a really, you know, pulled in Borderlands fan, that's all right with you, and that's how it is with me. Like, I
Right.
wasn't really expecting much difference, so that's how I feel about it.
Of course, I've been playing Borderlands since Borderlands 1, and I played 2, and Tales of the Borderlands. Then eventually I got around to playing, was it the pre-sequel? I beat 1 and 2. I didn't get a chance to beat the Tales of the Borderlands, and I partly played to the end to the pre-sequel. I'm excited for the game. I was gonna pick the game up was it the other day, but most of my friends not getting into the week that's coming up next Friday.
Right.
So I'm gonna hold out to then I'm gonna buy the game. What I want to do with my multiplayer games is get the multiplayer games when all my friends get the game. From what I've heard, the story is really good. The guns, like DX Strike was saying, the guns are good. I remember my friend Alex saying he has some type of gun that shoots poop out. I'm like, what?
What?
Really? A gun that shoots poop out? Borderlands always had that type of humor, and it always just made me laugh. And of course, my boy Mordecai has returned for the story again, which I'm excited for. That's why I picked on Borderlands 1. I didn't see the Gunzerker or the Commando dude from Part 2. I don't know why I didn't see them. The cool thing is too, you get to travel to, I think, like different planets on this Borderlands,
Right.
which I'm excited for. I'm excited for. The game looks really really good, and I get to see it on my 4K TV, which I'm excited for on my PlayStation 4 Pro. So this one's gonna blow my eyelids out literally, and I'm gonna get a box of cheeses like you see right here in this corner and some soda to play this game.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, the gist of, Borderlands 3 and its release. So if you guys haven't have been sleeping on Borderlands, I advise you go check out that series, especially from the very beginning and everything. So you can get the gist of how the game is. And if you haven't realized that the game released Borderlands 3, it came out September 13th. So go look into it, go check it out. So the next release was Monster Hunter World Iceborne, was released September 6th. Now, the thing is, I got Monster Hunter World, but my brothers, Keel Lantern and DX Strike, have been fiending on that game. And these guys surpassed me. Like, I haven't really played it. I mean, these guys played the series in and out, since the beginning. And Monster Hunter World is really no different to these guys. And I definitely need to catch up. I have friends in the Discord. My boy Derpy, they've been helping me out. Smurf been helping me out and everything. So hopefully I can get these guys back together so they can help me out so I can catch up and I can be able to play some of the Iceborne content as well. So I guess Keel Lancer, just tell me, because they both of you guys got it. Tell me what you feel about Iceborne. Just give me a summary of how you feel about it and what you like about the game so far. And then we'll give it over to DX Strike.
I'm in love with this game. Like literally, I've literally put in what 300 something hours in since the previous one, but Iceborne I put in like about 30 now so far. The game is amazing. The clutch claw it does wonders from jumping on monsters. The ice level is just terrific. I love the ice level. As if you ever go check out my channel, I did like a small video article on what the creator was going for the snowboard, because I've been playing Monster Hunter since the PS2 to the PSP, and the snow levels on the PSP were just like paper. He said he wanted something more. He wanted something visually pleasing for the snow, and he touched it literally. Man, when you roll on the snow falls off your armor, the snow gets on your weapon, the snow gets on the monsters. It's a wonderful thing to see in this game. This game is visually pleasing. I am definitely impressed with this game. The weapons and was it and the master mode is just terrific. I love the doggone monsters in this game, and then also our previous monsters have gotten a little boost, as I would say. And I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on it. I think my girl has returned, Gold Raffian, due
Mm.
to Gold Raffian showed up on Monster Hunter Freedom 2. For you guys that haven't played it and you want to check that armor out, go ahead. I'm going to toss it over to DX Strike so he can give you his impressions.
Yeah, actually, me and Keo been playing this early. We was playing this earlier before we even
Fiending.
put this podcast together, and man, we've been fiending on it for a minute now. Like, so I love the game. I like the additional moves that they gave to the weapons, especially the sword and shield. I'm a big sword and shield fan now. I hated the sword and shield on was it the earlier version of Monster Hunter World and the previous Monster Hunters, and like I can't put the sword and shield down. I like the fact that the certain weapons that you had upgraded in
Mm-hmm.
was it the Monster Hunter World, they added on an extra few was it upgrades from that weapon, that like, because the last one you upgrade to the last one and say, hey, you can't go no farther, and now like they added on to that, plus you got the master rank version of the basically of those weapons, and it's pretty dope. And I also like the I like I like the new monsters. The new monsters are pretty good. Even I don't know. It seemed like they made the older monsters in the monster with the master rank. They made them like a little bit bigger, not
Mm-hmm.
just like stronger. I don't know. I can't really tell, but yeah, I feel like they made them a little bit bigger. And also, I like how the different versions of those monsters, they have like almost like a completely different personality compared to the basically the older versions of them.
Right.
Like for instance, was it Toby Kadachi? The newer one is called Viper Toby Kadachi,
Mm-hmm.
and that one has it has paralysis and it has poison, and that thing is vicious. I can't stand fighting that thing. Yeah, and I just love how they brought in these new monsters and they added in the new versions of them. Some people might not like the fact that some of them are like color
Yeah,
swaps,
variants,
yeah, like
shinies.
variants of the monsters, but at the same time, like I said, they have the thing that makes Monster Hunter World so good, and what they wanted to Capcom wanted to focus on is they wanted to give these monsters personality as if they were in real life. You know what I mean? How
Mm-hmm.
animals work in real life and stuff like that, and that's what makes them different. It's not
Right.
just you gotta look past the colors and the
Yeah,
elements that
they
they
just
have.
a different variants of this, different,
Exactly,
the same
and
species,
it's amazing, and I can't put the game down.
That's dope, and I definitely need to get into it so I can fiend with you guys because you guys be definitely be getting it in. You guys be yelling and fiending, just having a good time. So I definitely need to catch up, get my boy Derpy and the rest of them, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna definitely gonna try to catch up. So the next release that came September 3rd actually, which was kind of like I would say like a remaster or like with additional content, which is Catherine Full Body. I really don't really have much of a relationship with this game. Don't really have much knowledge of it, but I remember when the game was announced back like last gen with the Xbox 360, and the PS3. Catherine was, I guess you could say, it's a puzzle type game, with some simulation, like some dating sims, aspect to it and everything. But I also thought that the visual art style was pretty good. But now they have a remaster where they add additional content, and add additional story elements and stuff to it. But definitely, Keo, do you have any like knowledge with the Catherine game at all?
Well, I never got a chance to play the demo on the PS3, and I didn't purchase the newer game, which I'm thinking that I'm going to buy it and whatnot. But I do know the main character was spin off of from Persona 3. I've met him
Oh
twice
wow.
in Persona 3 for the PSP. I had no idea that the game was about him. I wound up meeting him, I think, in a nightclub, if I remember, on Persona 3. And also, if you think about it too, um, what time I want to know what time frame this game is in, because also some characters from Persona 5 ran into what two Catherine characters in the Persona Royal Edition,
Oh
which I
wow.
find really
Oh, that's
cool.
dope.
I like that
Share universe.
the Persona series had little spin-off like games like that. So I'm excited to get my hands on this game. DX Strike has indulged in a demo, so he can probably give you a bigger scope of how the game operates and story wise too.
Yeah, so pretty much I had touched the game back when it was first announced and they dropped the demo on PS3, and it was really weird, but it was interesting at the same time. It seemed like I don't know, it seemed like a Twilight Zone type of story where like the main character, he pretty much, he's hanging out with his friends, and it took some attributes from Persona where you communicate with your friends, you build a relationship with them, and you can send text messages and all that, and like you can go to the bar, and pretty much you have a girlfriend, and her name is Catherine. I think her name is Catherine with a K,
Right.
and you pretty much she wants you to meet her father, her parents and stuff like that, and you have to try to please her and not upset her. But then you run into Catherine with a C, which is what the game who the game is about.
Right.
And she's in a bar, you meet her, and she's drunk, and she's going through stuff, and then she starts to come on to you, and basically the game is about you fighting temptation on fighting temptation on not trying to basically cheat on your girl and stuff like that.
Right.
And then on this one, the remaster, they added another girl named Ren, which is funny because you got two Catherines, and then at the end of Catherine you got the name, I mean pretty much her name Ren,
Mhm.
and she's another girl. She's in the bar, and I guess she plays like the music in the bar, like the piano and stuff like that.
Right.
And from a scene I seen, it was a guy picking on her, and pretty much you come and try to help her and stop the guy from picking on her, and she grows to like you. So it's kind of like a triangle, whatever you
Yeah.
call it. And now she's in the mix, and that makes your pretty much everything a lot more complicated. Now, from what I remember, pretty much those puzzle sequences, which is pretty much the gameplay of the game,
Right.
um, pretty much when you fall asleep, it's like a dream. And I can't remember if it's like if that demon in the back is supposed to be Catherine, and pretty much she's trying to kill you within the dream sequences,
Yeah.
and you got to try to make your way up to the top because I think she's at the bottom of it, and if you pretty much don't make your way up to the top, she can pretty much eat you and kill you, whatever. And it gets like crazy as you go on and on and on, and it's really interesting. It's kind of weird, but it looks like an interesting game.
Yeah, it looks definitely looks interesting. I can't wait to go look into the reviews and everything up on the game. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna skip on ahead. We're gonna move on to what the main topic really is, which is the Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show is something that I've definitely been anticipating, and looking forward to because we already have E3 during the summer and everything, and then with when Tokyo Game Show come about, normally show off games that E3 had pretty much uh, left out from the game developers and stuff. So you get some of those hidden gems, some of those other games that we pretty much probably almost forgot about, and then they remind us that these games are coming out and stuff like that. So we're gonna move right into it because they did reveal quite a few trailers that came out recently this week. So we're gonna step right into the whole Resident Evil Project Resistance. And what's so funny about this is that I covered this like 3 times on my channel because it seemed like it was just information that just kept spilling out here and there. And Capcom pretty much had made a oopsie like earlier during the pretty much like a week and a half ago on their teaser site of Project Resistance, and they leaked out some screenshots. And of course, the gaming community, especially the Resident Evil community, they hopped on this right away. Especially Resident Evil YouTube channel, which they are a pretty good YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out Resident Evil, you definitely need to go check those guys out because they cover mostly everything Resident Evil related. But that's how I found out about the whole Project Resistance through these guys, and everybody's just been wondering, hey, will this game be the next Resident Evil Outbreak? Will it be a reboot? Will it enhance or will it add on to that Outbreak experience and make it better and everything. So then they hit us with a teaser, with the teaser trailer, which everybody was looking forward to, and then everybody's making speculation videos, wondering, hey, what is this game going to be about? And then here comes Tokyo Game Show, and they finally revealed the gameplay, and it ends up being something that everybody wasn't really looking forward to or expecting. And I think that has a lot to do with, of course, everybody's expectations. They end up turning it into a pretty much a 4v1, similar to games like Fable Legends, which was canceled on the Xbox One, where you have a person who's a mastermind or a dungeon master, and they pretty much set traps for the other four players and stuff like that. So he pretty much took that twist and they put it on pretty much Resident Evil. So we have your different classes of, like, four characters, and sadly they have no backstory or anything. So everyone is really like kind of like meh about and everything. But I definitely want to give it over to DX Strike. What do you think about the whole Project Resistance Resident Evil?
When I first heard about it, I tried my best to lower my expectations because like I always we always wanted a survival horror game from Capcom
Mm-hmm.
based on Resident Evil ever since Outbreak. Outbreak was pretty much amazing. I never got the chance to play it because when I was real young, and I was pretty much a punk when it came to Resident Evil. And I used to watch Keo play it, and he used to play it with my uncle Lawrence and stuff like that, and it looked really good. And I was like, yo, the only way this can be really amazing is if they take the gameplay of Resident Evil 2 remake and take the attributes from Outbreak and make it multiplayer. This game is going to be perfect. Was it perfected? And I was like, that's the only way they can pull this off. If they don't do that, the game is going to be a lot of people's going to be trashing this game, and they kind of gave us what we wanted, but not what we wanted at the same time. We wanted four-player co-op.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted the characters to have skills like Outbreak, but what we didn't get was, oh yeah, and we wanted to play Resident Evil 2 remake. What we didn't get was just a plain, with those attributes, just a plain story, four people surviving together, and all these characters have backstories, and us trying to just make our way out of pretty much Raccoon City. And they didn't give us that. Instead, we just got a 4v1 where it's just four people playing, and then you got somebody setting up traps and stuff like that, which it is interesting. And if it was a another game that wasn't called Resident Evil, it probably would have got more traction
Yeah,
or
yeah.
more people liking it. But with a name like Resident Evil, you gotta expect people to be like,
Yeah.
expect a lot out of it,
Yeah,
whatever.
it set
So
expectations. Yep.
yeah, so that it was pretty much expectations. I'm still gonna get the game. It looks good, but it's not pretty much what I wanted, but it's gonna be a good game to play with you guys and a couple other friends.
Well, for me, I'm gonna get the game. Like once I found out the mechanics in the game, I was a little down because I thought it was gonna be like specifically like Resident Evil Outbreak. Um, we actually just looked at a video. What is it? I think this was like a few hours ago, and this guy was saying that pretty much this game is it's not going to be a dog $6 game. It really isn't. It shouldn't be a
It
$6
shouldn't
game.
be.
This should be a game that has microtransactions. From the gist of from what I'm seeing, like for cosmetic purposes, nothing else. Cosmetic purposes. No boosting, no nothing. No nothing, no anything in there. No buying traps, just cosmetics to outfit your character, to make your character your own character. That's what this game should have. Now, far as though when it comes down to the whole fifth player playing as the mastermind between this like whole entire plot, uh, it's like Mugalore says, like the whole Fable Legends thing, and just like games like Evolved and a few other games like the Friday the 13th
Yep.
game. Friday the 13th, I like that for that aspect of the game.
We gotta get that game, by the way.
But yeah, we definitely gotta buy that game. But other than that, I wasn't expecting this for Resident Evil. This just was not the way to go. Also, this is not Capcom Studio, I think, right?
Yeah, from what I remember from Maximilian video, he found out that it's not even Capcom developing the game. It's from a third party company and using the RE engine, and Capcom is pretty much like publishing it or something like that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give it a go. Like I said, we need to play more multiplayer games anyway, and
Yeah,
that's just one of the multiplayer games to be on the list, along with the Cydia, which we will be playing that again.
exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much for that. I think the thing is with Project Resistance, and like I was telling my brothers before, it's definitely gonna be fun. It definitely could be fun if they implement this right. And I think from the sounds of it, it may be games as a service, and everything too as well. So maybe we'll get some additional characters with different traits and abilities. We'll probably eventually get different levels, more additional levels. The scenery and stuff like that, different layouts and stuff like that for the gamers, for the co-op experience and for the mastermind to be able to come up with even better traps and stuff like that. They'll probably add in more monsters. Hey, we may even get Nemesis eventually, instead of as an additional monster, instead of just Mr. X or whatever like that, and also Tyrant himself. So I think that there is potential there, and as I've said before, as long as you playing like with four of your friends, and then you're going against some complete stranger that you don't know, I think that'll make the experience even more fun because you're not playing against a friend who's a mastermind. You're playing against someone you don't know, so you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what they're capable of, and they're not in the same room as you. And I mean, of course, you're playing online as well, but I think that would make the game even more fun. But yeah, as far as Project Resistance is concerned, it people had high expectations because, like DX Strike said, Resident Evil was pretty much it's a staple. It has a name, so when you have a game named Resident Evil, there comes with certain expectations, and people will expect certain things for something like Resident Evil. But I would say that don't hold it too much against Capcom as far as like people. I've seen people in comment sections of the video saying that hey, um, Nintendo. I said Nintendo. Resident Evil. This Capcom did pretty well. They was on a streak with Resident Evil, and then they pretty much dropped the ball with this one. I wouldn't hold this against their streak because, like I said, it's from another publisher, and I feel as though that developers should be able to experiment with their franchise. This is not a main game. I'm not saying that you shouldn't criticize, but I don't think you should hold this against their streak because we still waiting on a potential Resident Evil 3 remake, and then we still waiting on a potential Resident Evil 8, which I know they're definitely working on. Now, if those two games like f up, then yes, let's hold them accountable for it, and yes, let's hold that towards their streak as well when it comes to those two games. But that's pretty much our overall opinion of that reveal at Tokyo Game Show as far as Resident Evil Project Resistance is concerned. So we're gonna move on to this next one, which is Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. Before I even pass it over to Dig Strike, yeah, I haven't really. I don't know how I feel about this whole Remind thing with this whole being DLC, paid DLC on top of that, and right now this DLC is not something that I'm like, oh, I really need to go out and go get. And just the overall like release of Kingdom Hearts 3, the base game in general, was just to me incomplete and a hot mess. But DX Strike, what do you feel about this whole DLC Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind?
Well, for starters, I'm getting it. They got my money. I played every single Kingdom Hearts, every single one. I beat every single Kingdom Hearts, so I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Um, I loved Kingdom Hearts 3, but like I said, I'm not going to sit here and lie, like and say to you guys that that game didn't have a hot mess of flaws, and it was full of full of a lot of things. What I'm saying that wasn't there. No, I'm not going to say that. It definitely needed some more prepping, some more preparation, whatever. But this is pretty much like Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Remix. Is just this is pretty much basically Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Remix. That's pretty much what it is. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Remix is pretty much uh, the game that you got, but it just added on more additional content. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have missing like it didn't have scenes like in the original one. The original one had scenes that quenched your thirst. It was fulfilling whatever. But Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Remix added on to that and it made you feel like, dang, they being really generous, giving me all this stuff. This is not the case with Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. Remind is pretty much like it's adding on stuff that pretty much should have been in the game because the game was short. It was empty as crap, and it was lacking a lot of things. So pretty much, I feel like this one it pretty much is getting your money. It doesn't feel like a gift to to the consumer, or
Yeah,
whatever.
perfectly
Yeah,
put.
yeah, it doesn't feel like a gift to the consumer, just adding on stuff. No, this is like, yo, this should have been in the game already. So, I'm gonna just start off saying that. All right, for one, because before I was like, all right, what's the point of this? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of this game? What's the difference? The trailers don't really tell you anything. I was lost within the teaser that came out for TGS. It pretty much showed. I feel like it showed the same thing it showed the last teaser.
Right.
And but yes, but pretty much you get a new form that's like the final form from Kingdom Hearts 2. You get was it two free DLC Keyblades, which the Oblivion and Oathkeeper. You get more playable opportunities with Roxas, Aqua, and Riku, but that's pretty much like at the end where you had to fight, pretty much save Shion and all them.
Right.
Um, you get is an extra was an extra scene with Naminé and Sora. Then
Mm-hmm.
there's another scene with Sora talking to Charity, which is the little, I think is the little cat with the cape from Dream Drop Distance. Talk to Charity about Kyrie and what's special about Kyrie and stuff like that. Then they added on extra more battle sequences with Aqua, was it Aqua, Terra, and dang, who else? I think it's Aqua, Terra, and Roxas. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the third one. Um, what is it? Hold on, I know it.
Yeah, this game, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna wait on it.
Yeah,
As
but yeah,
well.
but yeah, I forgot the other character. But yeah, pretty much yeah, it added on sequences with that and with the Organization 13, and I think it added on was it newer boss battles, something like I think they might be adding newer worlds to travel to, which I hope, because the
Mm-hmm.
game lacked in levels. The levels were short and it wasn't that many. But yeah, that's pretty much. I'm still going to get the game. I love Kingdom Hearts, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
For me, I first started playing Kingdom Hearts 1, Chains of Memory, and then Kingdom Hearts 2. After that, DX just took it from there. Um, I was just done with like side story type games. I'm like, yo, I want the main story. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go in the middle. I don't want to go a little bit towards near the end. No, I want that full scope. I want to go near the end. And I just thought the story was just dragging on too long when it came down to Kingdom Hearts. When I started playing Part 3, the moment I got into the world, I said, yo, where what is all this? Like it's just like space between everywhere there. There's space everywhere. And the thing is like when you kill a monster, once the monster's gone, it's gone. So I have to keep leaving out of the place and then facing the monster again. And I think the other ones had it like that to an extent. I just was never a fan of that in the game. Like, look, if I want to level grind, I'm here to level grind. That's what I'm here to do. And the thing is, I knew that this game was going to be easy, so I was like, you know what? I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game on the most extremely difficult setting, so I did it this time. I still was breezing through the game, but when I got to near the end of the game, yo, what's his name? Xehanort? Yo, I was snapping. Yo, like you had to do like you had to time the guard. Man, I lost against him like 10 times before I actually was able to beat him. And then the cinemas was pretty long to get to every different part. And then you're coming out with Remind, and then you're talking about adding more battle scenes
Yeah,
before the last
yeah,
scene.
the end was
I
like
can't do
the
it.
end was felt rush. It was like
Yeah,
it's like a boss rush mode.
pretty much
Like
like
near the
let's
end, they were just
let's get
throwing
this over
one
with.
boss at the other and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on the whole
Yeah,
remind thing. I know DX Strike is definitely getting. Are you going to get it, Keel Enter?
I can wait on.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to wait on it too. I'm definitely going to wait on it. Let me see. I'm looking at the time here. It's like 8:14. You have to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So we not gonna be too long. We're gonna move over to we're gonna skip down to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Very interesting. I did a video about it on my YouTube channel, talking about how that to me, in my opinion, this game is gonna effing suck and everything. And this is my first video that had the highest in dislikes. The like and dislike ratio was like ridiculous, because I mean the Dragon Ball fiends, the fans, they just came out of the woodworks and they was just like really like roasting me about my opinion about it and stuff. But like I said before, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the thing that really gets me the most is the combat, the gameplay itself. And like I said in my video, like the whole point to me, in my opinion, when it comes to Dragon Ball, the whole thing they put emphasis on is combat. And if you can't get the combat right in the game, then to me it all falls apart. Because people said to me like, "Oh no, man! Like what you talking about? It's not going to be the same. You time you get to drive a car, you get to visit Planet Yordrat and this that and the other. I don't care about extra locations. I don't care about driving the car as Goku or whatever or Piccolo. I care about the combat, and the combat looks very floaty. It looks like you spamming nothing but key blasts and everything. The game looked visually gorgeous. Visually, don't get me wrong with that. But as far as the combat is concerned, like I said, it's very floaty, and you never see your character ever plant their feet on the ground. You're always floating. Even if you're on the ground, you're floating. It just bothers me. And this is like it's just like a total rehash. They just retrending it, revisiting the stories, and they just added more things you can do to it. But overall, I'm not looking forward to the game. I think the game at best it would be mediocre, but in my opinion, I'm just putting my hat down and my money down that this game's going to be trash. So, DX Strike, just have at it, man.
All right, so I'm the anime game consumer in here.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of
Which one?
Naruto games, Dragon Ball Z games, like you name it. So when I heard this was coming out, I was like, what is this? And then he dropped their first trailer. I'm like, yo, this looks crazy. And the thing is, ever since this storm came out, I always said, yo, what if Cyber Connect? I always want to see what Cyber Connect do with a Dragon Ball Z game, not a fighting game, just it was an action adventure Dragon Ball Z game. Cause everybody knows Cyber Connect are freaking awesome when it comes to their animations. It's literally like the manga ripped out of the book and just thrown on the screen. Like it looks that amazing, and it looks just like the anime and everything. And I finally got that. And the thing is, like the pros of this is the graphics look amazing. Obviously it looks visually it's stunning. The animations are really good. The developer of this game pretty much said that this game has the illusion of open world.
Mm.
It's not super big as like you expect, like Grand Theft Auto or The Witcher and stuff like that. It's just big sections of the Dragon Ball Z world. Because he said after a while, if you with a game or a franchise like Dragon Ball Z, if you make it bigger than what they have shown in the anime, after that you're just making things up.
Right.
That's the problem with certain enemies. You can do that. With Dragon Ball Z, you can't do that. Like you can do that with Naruto. They did that with Rise of a Ninja, and where you fight like regular bandits and stuff like that, because they have that in the game, and it's pretty much forest in between each location, so you can do that. The forest can look like anything.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z, you can't do that because they always have specific locations. Maybe you can get away with like repetitive mountains and stuff like that, but no, you can't do that. And also, I feel like it's also like a disservice to the franchise itself, because I'm looking. Maybe it might be in the actual game, but when you look at the Raditz fight, and we all know when stuff start to get intense with Piccolo and Goku and Raditz, Goku takes his shirt off, he takes his boots off, and then they all get down. You know what I mean? This dude's doing he's doing Kamehamehas. He's flying during the battle. He has his gi on. He has his gi on throughout the whole battle. You know what I'm saying? You can't see the ditch where the sand pot is at until once you see the cinema. Once you get to a certain part when Kid Gohan
hey,
jumps
DX
out.
Strike, before you continue, like, what Dragon Ball fighting game was it where you actually had to be Piccolo? No, you actually had to hold Raditz as Goku, and while you charge.
No. That was the first Budokai.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, no, that was the first Budokai. You had to be Goku, and you basically had to rotate the analog. You had to rotate the analog, and you had to line Goku and them up with Piccolo's special beam. That's how that went. They don't even got a scene like. I mean, do they have that?
I don't think so.
I think they do it. No,
I don't think so. Because after you beat Raditz, that's it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I gotta look back and I remember seeing a scene where you actually had to do that. But yeah, and then they was you just doing all this crazy stuff. They flying in the air. He's like powering up like super crazy, which he didn't do that. He didn't do this the crazy powering up until he fought Vegeta
Mm-hmm.
at the Grand at the basically I
The
call it the
king,
Grand
yeah, the
Canyon.
king, yeah.
But yeah, he didn't do all that, and he's doing all this stuff, before certain things. And I'm like, and when you want to do an RPG, you have to show progress. You have to show progression, especially with the anime. You have with the anime franchise of Dragon Ball Z and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You have to show progression. I don't. I feel like there's no progression. I feel like I'm doing a lot of the stuff before I even get to where I'm supposed to actually do that. And on top of that, I have Nimbus at the same time of me able to fly. It's like what's the point of me having Nimbus if I can fly? I don't know, but I'm still going to get it. The game is either going to be mediocre or trash because One Piece pretty much
With the
it,
World
it
Seeker,
kind of
yeah.
bummed me out. Yeah, World Seeker. It looked like it had so much potential. That's the thing. These anime franchises have so much potential, but they always treat them like cash grabs. Always, and I'm tired of this happening. And Dragon Ball Z definitely has potential to be one of the best um anime RPG games ever, but it seems like it's just gonna be mediocre or trash.
Mm.
From my grasp of the game, I'm agreeing with Mugen Lord. The game seems very floaty. It's not genuine to the anime as well when it comes down to certain things. But what I am intrigued about is certain aspects that was in the anime, like certain characters were taken out of out of the anime, like this new little pink chick that was part of the Ginyu Force. I like that they actually put her in the game, and they're gonna show you the backstory of why she wasn't part of Ginyu Force. Now, I think that's pretty interesting. Putting other characters or other things in the game that were supposed to be in anime. So I think that's pretty cool. Will I get the game when it comes out? Probably not right away. I'm gonna go back and get World Seeker. I like collecting anime games,
Right.
like literally, because once those games drop and then time goes by, you can never find them again. So eventually, yes, I will be buying J Stars as well. The Dragon Ball Z character, I'm gonna wait on it, wait probably like a month or two, and then I'm gonna buy it. But take it away, Mugen Lord.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, it for the Kakarot thing. All right, I don't think I can go any more trashing the game than when I'm already trashing it. So we're gonna move on to we're gonna skip down to a couple to the next topic, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they revealed that at Tokyo Game Show, and they keep revealing more and more of this game, and I'm getting more and more hype because this is just more than a remake at this point. Like I've been playing Final Fantasy VII since the game had launched. Now I know my first experience with Final Fantasy was when I went to my Uncle Gene's house and he was playing Final Fantasy 3, which is actually Final Fantasy 6 in Japan, and that's the first time I actually laid eyes on Final Fantasy, but never played it. But my first personal experience with Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 7, and I had the demo that came as a promotional demo that came with this game called Tobo Number One. Is made by Dream Factory and published by SquareSoft when they were SquareSoft at the time. It was a fighting game, and the artwork was done by Akira Toriyama, the guy who created pretty much Dragon Ball in general and drew the characters and stuff. So they had the promotional demo, and I was introduced to that game, and it was the first 3D Final Fantasy game. And then, based on that demo alone, I fell in love, and I couldn't wait for the game to launch. And when Final Fantasy VII came out, I was in 4th grade when it came out. So I got the game, and I've been playing it for years. Loved the hell out of the game. In and out, fiending all over that game. And then we finally get the remake, and I'm super impressed. At first, I was kind of worried when it went to the whole action RPG type of mechanics because I wasn't really feeling Final Fantasy 15 action gameplay, and I thought that it was going to be pretty much similar to that. But they did keep in mind that there are fans who enjoy traditional turn-based and everything, so they kind of did a hybrid between action RPG and turn-based in a way with the ATB gauge and stuff like that. But overall, the game is looking beautiful, and it looks like they kept a lot of things intact while adding on to it and and adding that little bits of information. Like I said, the motorcycle scene I said in my video, they introduced a totally new character. This guy is from Soldier, from the looks of it, and I want to know who the hell this guy is, and will he play a major role in the game overall, or even in some flashbacks and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's like it's giving us a hint to what's to come. And they finally showed off the Turks, Reno, Rude, Don Cornelius from the brothel. Excuse me. And they also kept they also said they're going to keep in the other parts where Cloud dressed up as a girl and everything, just to sneak in to save Tifa from the brothel and stuff like that. So this is like a love letter to Final Fantasy 7 fans, while pulling in new players like DX Strike. And DX Strike, tell me why you couldn't really get into the original Final Fantasy 7 and why this one has your interest.
This one, well, all right. It starts from when I was a kid. Like, I was never really a RPG person. I was always like was it a platformer type person, or was it what do you call it, a fighting game type person, or a shooter. And I really couldn't get into RPGs until I had got my hands on the was it Tales, which is the Tales series, like Tales of Xillia
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And that was the first time I ever seen real time, action RPG. And I always loved that mechanic, and that's what got me into RPGs later on down the line. And was it I always thought, was it Final Fantasy 7 was always a dope game. I love the story. I always used to watch you play it. I used to watch my dad play it, and you finished the game. I used to always watch you play it in the back
Mm-hmm.
room, and I never understood the story until I was little. So I never understood the story until you broke it down to me, and the characters was always appealing to me. Cloud was one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters. I know you hear that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Cloud's always been one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters, just by looking at him, and then he's just dope overall. I love all the character designs, and Sephiroth is goes down as one of the top was it one of the top villains in RPGs ever. And for me to be able to get to experience this game in the way I like to experience my RPGs, is just awesome. At the same time, while having turn based, like I don't mind turn based if real time is
Mm-hmm.
involved. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like games like Eternal Sonata, that's a turn based real time RPG, and that's what this has. That's what the feel I get from it.
Right.
And to me, this is a historic moment because this is one of the best JRPG stories ever written. One has basically a lot of the best JRPG characters in it, and I finally get to, people of my age, of my generation, finally get to experience it. And it's pretty dope, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. The game looks freaking beautiful, and
Exactly.
I have an attachment to the game, to Final Fantasy 7, just by looking at it. And so I can imagine how you feel being able to play it over
Oh my
again
god.
in, what I'm saying, in new time graphics and all that. So I can't wait to get my hands on it, and then I'll get to talk to you about,
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation about how I feel about certain situations in the game and all that. I
That's
just can't
dope,
wait.
man.
Well, for me, I first seen Final Fantasy VII when I was a kid. Mugen Lord played a demo that you get in Turbo One, and I think Square made
Yeah,
Turbo. I think
Squaresoft
right.
and Dream
Squaresoft made
Factory.
Turbo. It was one of their fighting games. But anyway, I was there day one when Mugen Lord had the game, and I watched him from the beginning towards the end play this game, literally beat this game. This game was literally one of the best RPGs of all time when I was a kid. Of course, we played other ones, before Final Fantasy VII that was on the Super Nintendo and stuff. And Final Fantasy VII to me just brings back a lot of childhood memories and what I was doing during that time, and also bringing back the
Mm-hmm.
game room because we had a game room in the house. And we
Right.
used to go in the back room, and I used to sit there. My brother had the black desk and used to play on his PlayStation all day into the next day,
Hours. Yes.
literally. And then eventually, of course, I wanted to get a PlayStation, and my PlayStation was like eventually like downstairs. It was in the back room at the time. Um, when they got to a certain point within the with on the first game, the original game, when Cloud first shows up, he flips up into into the train and stuff. I was done right there. I said, man, yo, that joint is dope. And the soundtrack was amazing. And then we're getting all this music all redone for this game. And I get to relive all those moments and better graphics. And also I get to see the interaction, the voice of the characters interact with each other. Because when you play Final Fantasy VII, you imagine how these characters sound. And these characters, uh, uh, um, voices are amazing. Ever since Advent Children, I fell in love with their voices since Advent Children. I said, okay, this is how these characters would talk. And now I get to hear these characters talk in this game. I get to go through the story and also
Mm-hmm.
see new characters, which is you'll see the guy that was in the trailer on the motorcycle who was a part of what is was it Shimra's special forces and stuff, which is cool. And you get to fight other particular Turk members as well that you never even fought them on the previous games, which I'm excited for. I get to fight these guys, and I get to actually see what these guys can do in person. Because always in Final Fantasy VII, you always read about what they were capable of.
Right.
You never seen what they were capable of, and that's the thing I'm excited to see when it comes down to the Final Fantasy VII remake. This is an actual remake, not this other crap that we be seeing like, oh well, this game is clearly a remake and blah blah blah. No, this game is built from the ground up, baby. This game is coming next year, and I'm excited for it. The
Mm-hmm.
episode thing, not really a big fan of, which I just got finished talking to chat about it. But hey, I'm gonna make do with it. I'm gonna see it like the Doc Heck series coming up by with episodes just like that.
Yeah.
Think about it like that.
And this is this the crazy thing is the hype is so crazy, and this is not even this is only the first part
Yeah.
of it. So I like, and this was we're gonna be 60 hours.
Yeah. 60 hours.
60
They say.
hours or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, and I'm like, oh wow, and this is just in Shinra. So
And I
I'm
believe they
like,
said I believe they said it's like two. This is 2 discs.
yeah, and this is just in Midgar and stuff like that. So like I can imagine what the next part is gonna be like, because that's when the world map is gonna be introduced. Then you get my boy Vincent, also one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters, and meeting all the other characters.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. They really expounding more on Shinra, because if you think about it, and the more and more I continue to think about it, Shinra was just an electric company, an electric company that got too damn big and they got too damn powerful, and it has their claws on to society and even in the world itself or whatever. So this game is going to focus on this episode is going to be just episode Midgard. So they're pretty much just focusing on that, and which means they're going to pretty much put more emphasis on the grabs that Midgard has on Shinra has on Midgard and its citizens and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what they do with it. You could tell that Biggs, Jesse, Wedge, they're also going to have some additional development and backstory, which I'm also happy and I'm looking forward to. Forward to it as well. They also showed off how the summoning system work now, which I'm definitely going to pretty much do a video on, and I'm going to break down that as well, because I was definitely looking forward to see what they want to do with the summoning mechanics. But we still don't really know how the materia works in the game. So we still don't know like how that's going to just play big or anything at all. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. But overall, man, I'm super hyped
Did you mention
for this game.
Did you mention the classic?
Oh yeah. They just classic. Oh, I forgot about classic. Yeah, they mentioned that today too. They the classic mode where you actually play like a traditional turn-based, which means you don't even control Cloud or any of the characters. They do all the actions. You just wait for the ATB to fill, and then you continue off the commands. But you can interrupt it anytime you want. So that is definitely a good thing overall. But
Oh, Brian,
but we
take a look at
yeah,
the,
I see it. I'm gonna check it out in a second. 1 second. But yeah, man, like I'm definitely looking forward to it. But we definitely gonna move on to one last topic that we're gonna cover. We do have some honorable mentions because Keel Lancer pretty much had to go pretty soon, so we're gonna just cover this last video. But the honorable mentions are Trials of Mana, Gungrave,
Yes.
Ring Fit, Adventure, and Yakuza 7. We definitely gonna definitely do that. We're gonna talk about that in separate videos, but we definitely gonna move on to the last video, which is last topic, which is Death Stranding. Kojima pretty much showed off 2 gameplay trailers of Death Stranding, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm still confused with the game and everything. But before I even give my opinion, I'm gonna let Keel Lancer take it away.
Wow. I don't know what the heck I was looking at. I seen the 6 minute trailer, video joint. Then we seen the story joint together, all of us, DX Striker, Mugen Lord. trying to get the gist of the story. So I kind of almost understand what's going on. And then right after that, then we see the big streaming thing. And I think it was like an hour long or so, 48 minutes. I don't know what the heck I was looking at. It's like I'm an Amazon worker. I'm an overpaid Amazon worker. I'm running around with a long ladder. I'm packing myself with big stuff on my back. I don't know why I'm doing that. And then you're telling me that I have to traverse through this whole entire big world with dripping stuff all over the place. Then you're telling me I can sleep in the middle of nowhere. Then you're telling me I can put other clothes on me and stuff like that. That doesn't make any sense. And then the combat is kind of shaky to me. I don't know what I'm looking at. My man's throwing his back, his bag and stuff like that. This dude is just doing all these wild and crazy things. And then you're talking about he's putting blood in grenades and stuff. When I seen, I said, what is he doing? Is this some type of liquid he's putting in there? And then you got a semi-boss fight, which I'm not even sure if he actually beat the boss. I'm not even sure what the heck I was looking at. I'm still confused with this game, like literally. And then he had another video. Was it today? I think we all was just looking at it, and they're just talking about what you can do like cosmetically and stuff like that. And to me, this game is visually pleasing. It's just the gameplay mechanics is just not there for me. The game is just overhyped. It's overhyped as hell. It's going to be mediocre at best. And personally, I kind of understand why Kojima had got the shackles put on him by Konami, because this guy is out of control. He is fanatical, literally. Don't get me wrong. God bless him with the Metal Gear series. But my man's needed some shackles with this game. Man, DX, take it away, man.
Yeah, this is pretty much what happened. Yeah, this is pretty much what happens when you let a genius run rampant. You know what I mean? Like the thing about being a genius is you have to keep in mind that all right, there's some ideas that everybody's not going to get, and only you will. You know what I mean? And like that's pretty much what's going on right here. Like the game looks awesome as far as the graphics and everything. The story is still like it's still like wobbly. And the thing is, I think the best thing that's probably going to come out of this game is the story once everybody plays it and they get their heads wrapped around it and the confusion is gone. You know what I'm saying? That because like Kojima, he's a good story writer. Metal Gear is like the story of Metal Gear is just amazing. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to come out of this. Once the confusion cloud goes away and everybody knows the story, I think it's going to be pretty cool. But the gameplay is so basic. I feel like it takes the basics of Metal Gear and it just add dumb stuff to it, like being a pistol on the ground, or you just climbing up long ladders, or the was it the punching, like the fighting mechanics as far as you doing like punches and kicks. It adds that to it, but the animation's
Stiff
a
to
little
me.
bit more stiff than Metal Gear, because Metal Gear kicking and punching was stiff as hell too. But and then you get to throw your suitcase and all that. And this dude, I guess it's because the attachments I think he has
On
attachments
his
on his
leg.
legs that allow him to jump super far and run fast. Because at first I'm like, yo, how is this man catching up with this truck that's drop like I couldn't understand. Like, how is he doing that? And then I seen that, I'm like, okay, then maybe it's the attachment. And I thought it was pretty cool when he jumped over the simple things like that. I ain't gonna lie, I think it's cool. You get to jump over that big behind crack in the ground.
Hmm.
But when I seen the part where you're in the menu and you putting packages on your back, I'm like, okay, he got like 4 or 5 packages on there. All right, this man started adding like a whole tower on his back. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, do he need any more packages? Like, yo, this just slow him down. And this man is running. He's running as if it's not on his back. Like, where's the laws of physics at? And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And like, as far as the whole grenades with his blood in it, he had to prepare those grenades before he got into battle, because I'm like, yo, he had a lot of grenades. That's too much of his blood in them grenades. He should have died from exhaustion. And then, what is so special about his blood that the blood does something to the monster? Like, that's what I want to know. And I remember when, before TGS was closed, they dropped a 6-minute gameplay video. And I'm like, okay, I'm talking to Moving Lord, and I'm like, all right, yo, like he's like, yo, turn it on. So I'm like, all right, hold on, I'm gonna watch this. I'm not gonna watch the full 6 minutes because I gotta take a shower and get ready for work and stuff like that. He's like, all right. So I turn it on, and I was gonna stop it at 3 minutes, but for some reason the time went by so fast. 6 minutes passed by the time the end of the trailer happened. I mean, gameplay trailer happened, and guess what happened? He walked around. He heard a voice. He say, "Hello, who's over there?" He walks over to the cliff, takes this OP behind ladder that stretches to any length, climbs up, go inside the building, talks to the hologram. It gives him a mission. He falls off the cliff. The baby gets hurt, and then he rocks the baby back to sleep, and then he walks off, and the gameplay is over. I'm like, yo, that thing told me nothing. It showed me nothing. I'm like, it was nothing. So I'm like, yo, and people was hype, and especially when people got hype when he pissed on the ground and it grew a mushroom. I'm like, what? Like, what is this? Look, there's no connection, man.
Yo, man, like I said, man, like Kojima, he's a genius, and at this point, man, like I'm very skeptical about it. I'm not saying that the game is gonna be trash because I'm not going to jump to that conclusion. Like as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to pull me into the game. It's the way it's marketed, is the way it's advertised. It like I understand you want people to leave people on cliffhangers, they build intrigue and stuff like that. But to me, it's pretty much discouraging me, or it's just pretty much like dissuading me from it, because I'm like, at this point I don't care. The game come out in November, and yet we still haven't seen any actual the actual gameplay that's going to actually drive me to pull me in and say, yo, I want to play this game. I'm looking forward to it and everything. Only thing it has going for it is the visuals and the story, the way they're trying to set up the story or whatever like that. But other than that, I need to see something that's like, hey, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to buy this game. There still haven't been anything, to really pull me in to make me want to buy it. Because when you look at video game trailers, not just because like it's different from a movie trailer. A movie trailer, you want to get the plot and everything like that, and they sprinkle in some action sequences and stuff like that. But when it comes to a video game, you still want to see some gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Some actual gameplay to pull you in. And the trailers show more cinematic storytelling. And I don't just buy a game solely just based on just looking at how the story is. I want to see how the game is going to play, if it's going to be enjoyable for me to continue to want to play. Because gameplay and story go hand in hand to me. And right now the gameplay it's just not doing it for me at all. And there's a lot of Kojima fanboys, because like I said, if this game was not made by Kojima, there'll be a lot of people having skepticism just like me and complaining about it and saying, hey, what's going on? Because like I said to one person in the comment section who was fanboying out and calling everybody else Call of Duty fanboys, and all they want to see is action and stuff and don't know what real gameplay is, I said to him, is like, no, people know what real gameplay is, but people want to see more to want to be excited to play the game, not walking around climbing up ladders and stuff like that. And I said, it's like Nintendo announcing a Zelda game and all they do is show Link cooking, fishing, you know what I'm saying, and playing mini games. But they don't show off Link actually exploring dungeons and solving puzzles. With the core essence of what a Zelda game, pretty much is. He's showing everything but the core essence of it and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I'm just a little skeptical about it, and hopefully, like, by the time launch comes for Death Stranding, that there'll be something like, hey, I'll give it a try or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, I know the story will probably be interesting, and that'll be something I'll probably watch on YouTube when some fiend beat the game and put the whole sequence up, and I can watch it as a movie or whatever like that. But that's pretty much overall it for my opinion on Death Stranding and all three of our opinions and stuff. And we about to wrap up this podcast, because Keel Lance had to step out somewhere, and then I have to go run a few errands real quick as well. But overall, man, I'm glad you guys stayed in with the podcast and stuff. We did have a little hiccup at the beginning because we all in the same room. Before, we was getting these echoes and stuff like that, because we all close together and everything, and all our microphones is picking up the same sound and stuff. So what's going on is we have to take turns. We have to pretty much press the button to talk. So as long as we don't press the button, or my brothers don't press the button, then the sound won't go back and forth and bounce and stuff like that, so you won't hear the echo or anything like that. But we definitely want to work out more kinks and stuff like that, and I definitely want to hear your feedback on the podcast. Leave your feedback in the comment section below. I'll definitely be looking over it and everything, and there will be an audio version just in case you want to check it out. I'm going to make a SoundCloud and a Spotify and stuff like that, so you guys will be able to download it and just listen to it in your car or wherever you at while you're doing your work and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. We plan on doing probably a podcast like probably twice a month to start off to see how everything works out, and then we'll probably after that do it once a week and stuff like that as more topics and stuff occur. So that pretty much wrapped this up. Do your send off, Keo Lancer, and then followed by DX Strike.
Well, guys, I enjoyed this stream and podcast. Uh, don't forget to hit the bell button and subscribe button to my brother Mugen Lord's channel, and don't forget to join me and Keo Lancer Gaming, and don't forget to hit the bell button and subscribe button when you come to my channel, guys. All right, DX.
Yeah, you guys, it was fun doing this. It was awesome doing my first podcast. I can't wait to have many more experiences with you guys, and you hear our opinions, and we hear you guys. I'm DX Strike. You can check out my channel, DX Strike Control, and hit the notification bell button, and I'm DX Strike. Strike out.
Yep. So that pretty much wrap up this podcast, guys. This is Mugen Lord, and I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.